Hello and welcome everyone. While we give a minute for more people to join, I'm Vinisha. I'm the Digital Marketing Executive at Talent Team, and I'll be your host for this webinar today. It's absolutely fantastic to have all of you here. Thanks a lot for joining the webinar. So today I'm thrilled to introduce Sadaf as our speaker. Sadaf is a SAP SuccessFactors HCM consultant here at Talent Team. Throughout this webinar, Sadaf will dive deep into how you can maximize your learners' engagement with SAP SuccessFactors Learning and take you into more brief about SAP SuccessFactors Learning. We have an engaging and informative session planned for you all. So if you have any questions at any point of webinar, feel free to drop it in the chat box or in the Q&A section, and we shall take it up appropriately. All right, without any further ado, over to you, Sadaf.
Sure. Thanks, Manisha. A very warm welcome to everyone to our webinar. And indeed, it's a really great pleasure to have you all attending our webinars, engaging with us. It always gives us more opportunity to interact more with all of you and get an opportunity to share what we have knowledge with us. So yeah, today our webinar is on, it's actually going to revolve around the SAP SuccessFactors Learning as a product, but we are actually going to focus around that how you can utilize if you're already a SuccessFactors LMS customer, or if you're planning to invest into SuccessFactors LMS or any other module related to that how you can actually maximize the engagement, your learner engagement with that. So we are going to talk about all that. Let's take a quick look at what have we got for our agenda. So we have a very key topics around the agenda. So obviously we will deep dive into all the areas around SuccessFactors LMS, the best practices, what feature it does offer around the learner engagement. We are also going to have a quite snippet around SAP has recently released a new homepage for SuccessFactors LMS, which I think was really everyone was so excited when it got released because it was really anticipated. Customers have been waiting for years for that, and so do us. So we are going to look at that as well. We are going to talk about how the artificial intelligence driven personalized recommendation can really transform the learner engagement with the new learning homepage. We are going to have a very brief demo of the focusing around the new SuccessFactors LMS homepage. We'll take a look at it. But before we would start with all that, I think it's very essential for us to have a understanding at a high level that when it comes to the learner engagement, right, what are the different aspects, what are the different area as an organization, as a learning organization or a business user in the organization for L&D, what areas you should be really focusing on, how you can actually assess that the learning system that you are currently have invested in, whether it is actually helping you to have all those areas covered for your learners, because this is all the assessment you really need to take during your product assessment or the investment assessment or the value assessment that you do for all the tools and the solution that you have invested in the organization. So we'll start with that. So moving on, a very basic to get started with. In terms of the learners' engagement, our learners are actually the key. So in an organization, right, you do invest into an employee and you do want them to progress and enhance into their career level. That's where the L&D comes into play, where you try to create engaging courses, you try to ensure that anything that is required for their development, which eventually helps organization to grow and develop, how can you fulfill all that requirement? So that's where the learner engagement plays a very vital role. So as an end user, when they are actually consuming courses that you create for them, that you offer for them, how do you assess that these are going to have a more learner engagement? So you would have some criteria around that people are participating, they are enrolling into those courses mostly, they are really having questions or queries, they are reaching out to you to understand whether these courses are going to be delivered online or they will have the instructor led, what contents that these courses when you make some announcement. And obviously in terms of I understand in most of the organization, once the courses are delivered or on a quarterly basis or on a yearly basis, these kind of assessments does happen where you do check that what has been the skip rate or maybe the absence rate in the courses that you plan for. So all these areas, when you make all these assessment, it actually gives you the one outcome, which is what has been the engagement of the learners for these courses that you have offered over the past time. That's where the learner engagement is very important to ensure that we are going into correct direction in the L&D domain. Moving on, we talked about what do we call as a learner engagement, but it's not just, I would say, a terminology. We also have to understand that in that engagement, there are different areas that really plays a very vital role to make that as one. So these are the learner engagement model that currently we are seeing. So in that model, there are different aspects. So if you see over here, we have a social aspect, the physical, cultural, behavioral, emotional, and cognitive. All these aspects holistically make engagement or make a learner more engaged into a course that you offer. So the social aspect is nothing but where the courses, the learning opportunities that you provide, how interactive, how easy to perceive all that, whether is there any collaboration required, courses that you provide. In terms of the physical aspect of the learner engagement, that relates to that during the courses that you provide, right? For instructor-led courses, it's quite easy that we can identify this aspect where you know that you would invite learners, they would come and join, they may have some activity to perform during the session. But when it comes to the online, the ways have changed. And definitely the virtual learning has now become part for the online or e-learning as well. There are simulation tools available which you really can integrate with your learning platform to make learners give an opportunity to, without having to go and attend trainings in person, they can actually have a feel of that they are actually sitting in a classroom, attending and interacting with the instructor. So the virtual learning, all that is a part of that physical type of learner engagement. When it comes to the culture is where it comes really from the what is the culture and the code of ethics around the learning in an organization. How promotive is an organization around taking up the courses, encouraging learners and the employees to do focus on their career development goals and then enhance look at the learnings they really can take up. So that's where the cultural part of this engagements come. When it comes to the behavioral, so I would say not every type of courses, learning opportunities that you offer can have this. However, wherever kind of assessment, or I would say more procedural type of trainings where you have some step-by-step instructions for learners to follow, where they will execute if they're learning something to operate on a tool. So they will perform some steps, or I would say hands-on activity on the tool itself if they are learning to operate any machine, or they will actually understand how that operates. That's where the behavioral part of the learning engagement comes. Then we have emotional. That is where definitely it goes hand in hand. So as a learner, when I'm investing my time into a course, I really look forward for my learning outcomes, that what I'm going to achieve after attending or learning that course. And from the organization perspective, definitely it's not just a financial investment. It actually also comes where they have to understand that whatever investment they are making into a learning platform, whether it is making their employee to grow more, their organization to grow more or not. That's where the emotions really connect with that engagement type. And cognitive is the last one, but I think I would say this is the most important one aspect of the learner engagement, which organizations should really focus, that how can you create more and more interest and curiosity around the courses that you offer, so that it will actually create your learners as self-motivated learners, instead of the L&D team having to send many reminders for them to complete courses. It should not happen that every time they have to complete, a reminder is required. Instead of that, the self-awareness, self-motivation around completing the courses, compliance courses, especially on time, ensuring the deadlines are met, that actually comes as a part of the cognitive learner engagement whenever you provide these learning to them. So in terms of the holistically, this is, we need to understand that it's not only that you would create some curriculum, create the course content, and then just announce and take it away for your learners to understand and then do the training. You also have to understand that when it comes to the engagement, you have to touch base on all these areas that plays a overall role to create a or increase a learner engagement more and more into your L&D courses. Okay. Now, moving on. So we talked about that what are the different aspects of a learner engagement. Now, as I would say organization, or I would say a business user from L&D, when you need to take up a call that you need to maybe invest, or you have already invested in a learning system, then how can you really assess that my system, my learning application is really helping me achieve or covering all the areas of the typical learner engagement that we need to, and that we already talked about. We have cognitive, emotional, behavioral, social, physical, and culture. So in any learning application, right, these are the areas you can maybe, these can be, I would say, checklist, very high level checklist. Definitely the deep down, you'll have to see that how many courses, what kind of features, functionality it supports. But in terms of focusing around the learner engagement, you should look at that. If you want to focus around the cognitive, where you want to create curiosity and interest, you should ensure that the way you can structure courses into that learning application, it's easy for your learners to actually scroll through, or it's easy for them to assess. When it comes to emotional, then definitely as a learner, I'll be more happy to keep seeing the progress that I'm making on the courses. Every time I complete a course, if I get a nice certificate of completion branded, it pops up. Or maybe if I can have a gamified kind of learning, that really will help me to connect more to the learning system. Behavioral wise, it should be so simple enough that when you are typing in the instructions, it can let your employees and the learners to follow through them easily. It should not be that they have to navigate through at different places to identify that what is actually required from this course, how they can actually enroll into that course. So that's all should be simplified. Social aspect of a learning system, it should have a feature functionality where you can create some maybe communities or collaboration platform groups to collaborate between the participants, participants and the instructors. There should be a facility to provide feedback, and if there is a way where you can promote content and also interaction with the content, where people can provide ratings for the content, so it can help others to see, okay, these are the most trending courses or the most liked courses. Maybe it's worth looking at the content these courses offer. From the physical point of view, for a learning system, like I touched base earlier, that it should help you create different type of course content as well as the different type of trainings. So you should be able to create, if you want to offer a training on any virtual platform, if you want to offer a training which has some virtual simulation in place where you need to integrate with the tool, if you want to offer a training which actually is going to happen in a classroom, but you should be able to manage the aspect of that classroom, that what is going to be the capacity, how many users should be able to enroll, waste list, and all that area of the classroom training. And then definitely the culture aspect for the learning system should be that you should be able to have an option where you can easily send out communications. You should be able to easily announce new courses if there is new information, if you want to make updates. So this is all should be easier. From the culture point of view, admin aspect of the learning system definitely plays a very vital role, that you should be able, as in the learning team, the administration of the learning system should be simple, and that actually can help you take the culture of your organization around the learning to the next step. So these are the some features I thought it would be essential for us to talk in the webinar today, so that it's easier if you're already have invested in LMS, SuccessFactors LMS, or any other learning application. Then I think in terms of the assessment, if you do have these as a checklist, it's easier for you to find out that how engaged or how effective your learning system for your learners. Okay. Right. So now moving on, we have talked about so far that what is the learning engagement, what are the different areas in any learning application, what are the key features that you really should look out to understand how effective that can become or can create an engaging platform for your employees. Now we are going to talk about more around SuccessFactors LMS. SAP has offered this fantastic module, SuccessFactors Learning Management System, which actually can support you to create all the areas that the learner engagement required, the different aspect you can ensure that this is all fulfilled. And that's where there are some best practices provided from the SAP itself, that if you want to create an engaged learning experience for your employee, then what is the model that you really need to focus on? And that's where this model come into play, which is the learner engagement model. It revolves around different areas again. So you have guide and inspire, empower SMEs. You should create a social collaboration. You should increase your decision making for your employees and leverage the user experience that you can provide through the SuccessFactors LMS. We're going to quickly now look at that around all these areas for the learner engagement. What are those features that are currently available in SuccessFactors that can help you achieve these? So for guiding and inspiring your learners, right? In SuccessFactors LMS, there are some key features which I've just highlighted here. You can make use of personalized recommendations. There are learning collections available. You can create collections, which is you combine the different type of learning contents, internal courses from your external libraries, some content that maybe are available on the web. Some of the content maybe are created within the organization, some blogs. You can combine all of them and create learning collections. And that's how you can guide and inspire your learners to create more and more. You can have a proper defined categories or a subject areas hierarchy around your courses that you offer through the libraries, and that can help the learners browse them through easily and navigate. So if I'm interested to look at the courses that my organization offer around leadership, right, I should be able to find them in the libraries that I have access to easily. So I should not be just dependent on searching by typing a keyword leadership. However, I should have categorized the way we usually see the options on any marketplace. So all that you can really do by having proper categories defined around your courses. And the definitely accomplishment This is one of the functionality which is, as per my experience, it's a very nice functionality. However, just because it is little disconnected, it does not have any, I would say, connection with the other success factor talent module, performance, or career development. I think it has not been utilized to its fullest. However, it is really important, I would say, can help learners to identify what are my personal learning goals. Obviously, some of the goals are identify the learning goals by the organization, by the managers, or as a development requirement. But I also should be able to look at that these are the goals, the learning goals that I want to achieve, and I should be able to keep a track of it. So we are talking about all these features here. While we will do the demo towards the end of the session around, then we will be able to see some of these in the demo. Okay. Now moving on to how you can use or what features are available in SuccessFactors LMS that can help empower your subject matter expertise or the people who are have a more diverse knowledge, more deep knowledge around the topic, and you do utilize their knowledge as assigning them as instructor, inviting them as a guest speaker in some of the courses. So again, you can have them create different kind of learning collections. They can combine all these different type of content. You can have them manage the learning library. So they should be able to identify what courses should go under which library. You can have department specific libraries. Maybe you can have SMEs around topic, and then they should be able to manage these library and suggest or make a suggestion that what courses should come in into these libraries for the topics around. Then around the social collaboration, so I believe most of the SuccessFactors LMS customers who were using SAP Jam or now have invested into WorkZone, you should be aware of that. In LMS, you definitely can build your courses. However, when you need a collaboration aspect around those courses, you with the Jam, you can set up a Jam groups around topic, the learning communities, and the same thing you can actually now also create in WorkZone, which are called the workspaces. So you can have these all learning courses and these workspaces or groups connected. And then what happens is, as part of the overall training delivery, if there are any kind of collaboration required. For example, in some of the trainings, you need to have some learning assignments. In that case, you can have these groups or workspaces created where everybody can contribute through their assignments. The instructors can have access to all the assignments that has been submitted from one place. You don't have to like manage them through email or in some external repository. However, once these are connected, you can manage them through and within the SuccessFactors itself. And definitely, peer recommendation is one of the very nice functionality which I have gone through some core and I really liked it. And I think that my um, the team members or my other colleague, they are going to like it as well. So I can make a recommendation and also share my key takeaway when I attended or have gone through that course. So peer recommendation can really encourage the social collaboration. When it comes to helping them with their decision making, how can you do that? So as a human, we all are very inclined towards something which looks more visually appealing. That's where the branding aspect of the learning system come into play. And SuccessFactors LMS has nice branding functionality which you can really utilize. You can have nice thumbnail images. You can have your branded cover pages for your subject areas or categories. You really can have nice certificate of completions created which can be branded. You can have them for different type of courses. So you can have different for your online courses, you can have different for your instructor-led courses, and for the external courses, anything that if you have subscribed the library from Harvard Management Mentor or Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, then you can have different kind of certificate for those type of courses as well. You can also have an option for your learners to rate courses, and it actually can help others to understand. And it's again, it comes to from that point that if I would go to buy something, for an example, on Amazon, the first thing that I would check when I do a search is which item has the maximum rating in that category that I'm looking at. And the same applies here on the courses rating as well, where if I need to do some courses, there are multiple options available. I will see if there are any comments available, if there are rating available around those courses. So yeah, that can help them for your learners to make a decision on their side that which course they should take it up if they want to, if that is not something has been pushed by the organization. And the pool recommendations, these are nothing but where as a L&D team, you can identify that some of the courses you would like to recommend to the entire organization or to the certain group of people, right? It's not only the peer recommendation. So you can make the pool recommendations from the administration point of view as well. And here comes the last in this model around the learner engagement best practices, that how can you leverage the user experience? The experience comes at, I would say, towards the end in this learner engagement model, because you really set the baseline through setting up the recommendation collection, libraries, jam groups, all the branding. That's it. All these in combination create a user experience. And along with that, there are other aspects also in SuccessFactors LMS that can help you provide more better user experiences, where you have your library structured properly. You have provided the search options, the course home, which has now become a universal. So you can have the detail, you can have the cover pages, which can actually provide more information, more visual information and easy to consume. And then definitely the learning homepage, the new learning homepage is definitely more diverse, more enhanced, and more visually better comparative to the legacy that we had. We are going to take a look at it. So this is how the SuccessFactors LMS best practices to create more and more engaged learner experience, and the features that it has, they can work in combination to help you create and, or I would say, maximize the learning experience for your employees. Moving on, let's take a quick look at that the SuccessFactors LMS new homepage. So definitely all of you, because this has come out from the last release, second half of 2023, it was really talked, I would say one of the talk in the SAP community, that what it is going to be, how it's going to look like. And once we have it, it really covers three key areas around the learner engagement, which we are calling them here, that you can prioritize, you can also discover what are different courses available, and also again you can have a motivated learning experience where the self-direction for an employee, where they will find out what they need to learn easily. They don't have to depend on the learning team, they don't have to depend on the manager, they don't have to depend on their peers to suggest them or make a recommendation. So over here, this is very at a high level. We are going to see the demo in a bit, where I will show you that how the new learning homepage really looks like. But over here, when it comes to the new homepage, it has the category of the required learning separately. It actually gives, or I would say, give a sense of you prioritizing what training you really need to complete, you must need to complete. Okay. And in terms of the self-directed learning, there are different areas now available on the homepage: invest in myself, my bookmarks, and suggested by peers. Suggested by peers are nothing but the peer recommendation. In the legacy, we used to have that, right? With the bookmarks, it is now more enhanced, because earlier, as a learner, you only had the capability to bookmark either collection, quick guides, or if you have any external links. But now you can actually bookmark your learning activity. So if you're, maybe you have gone through some curricula, you really liked it, and you do want to take a look at it later, you can really bookmark it, and then you can come at a later point in time, look at the content it's going to offer, what's the schedule look like, and if it suits your calendar, you can actually go ahead and then take up that curricula easily, or any program and course for say. All right, so that's a very high level around our SuccessFactor LMS new home page. And then we are going to talk about briefly that artificial intelligence driven personalized recommendation, which are now available with the new SuccessFactor LMS homepage. With the legacy homepage, you had the option, but through the early adopter care. But now you can actually have this functionality if you have the new LMS experience enable. There are definitely some data requirement or some technical requirement for you to be able to really utilize or have these functionalities in your SuccessFactor system. But yeah, with the personalized recommendation, the legacy way of getting the recommendation is going to be really enhanced, where I'm going to get more and more recommendations around my skills, the competencies, the courses that I've completed. I'll be able to bookmark my recommendation so that if there were any recommendation provided to me by the system, then I should be able to take a look at it at a later point in time. And also with the recommendation functionality being completely enhanced, if you are really not interested into it, then you can really say that you don't want that to continue showing in your recommendation area, then you can actually remove it or just say that you are not interested. So it's going to help learners more and more having their personal engagement with the content instead of completely depending on the learning team to know that what are the courses you think you can suggest to us. Okay. Now, we are going to take a very quick look on the SuccessFactor LMS as a product. From the focus point of view, we'll first take a look at it, how the new learning homepage looks like, because this really is amazing. It is really going to help the engage learners more and more and enhance the user experience. It is not reached to the level where it can completely replace the legacy homepage, because it is also currently is in enhancement mode. But definitely, as per I think the SAP announcement, they are going to make it universal from the year 2025. So this year still, though, there is going to be an option available for customers to switch back and forth between the legacy experience and the new experience on the SuccessFactor LMS. However, from 2025, as per the current announcement, the legacy is going to be completely removed and the new homepage is going to take over as a global. I'm going to, for us 1 minute, unshare my screen. I'll log in into a demo system to quickly take you through the LMS demonstration. Right. Bear with me for 1 second while I'm logging in. Okay. I am there. Now let me share my screen. All right. So yeah, I hope you all should be able to see a SuccessFactor system now, not the presentation. So here we go. Here you see the new home page, right? It's as you see, now we have an option for the enhanced search. Earlier, with the legacy one, you have an option to browse courses. You would go and search by the title or description. Now over here, let's say if you type in some word over here, it is going to give you some suggestion around the searches as well as whatever you have typed in here, it's going to give you the suggested results as well, right? That these are the program courses that does matches that you have just typed in. If you are not interested in any of these search results that you see, you can still go ahead, and then it actually takes you to the wide areas around the search option. We never had these many options with the legacy one. So you have more now options where you can search courses by duration, the hour types. Let's say I'm more interested in the courses which is going to give me more CP credits, right? Because that is something is required for my maybe next role in the organization, that I should have these many CP credits to be qualified for some other trainings. I can have the way we used to have around the sources, rating, mobile. So we have now more search criteria, I would say, with the new LMS homepage. Definitely you'll be able to have search around if you type in the title, description, IDs, duration wise as well. That's really enhanced. Other than that, on the homepage, you see now different sections. So these are more focused in terms of I want to focus on the compliance related trainings. I want to focus on the trainings that are mandatory for me. So these are my required learning. Anything that I have maybe just browsed through my library, it's are optional, and I want to take up these courses as an optional requirement that where I can invest in that is coming in. And then, like I was saying, you also have an option to bookmark. So any courses that you actually take up, you have an option to even bookmark them. So it's easier for you. Instead of every time go and search, you should be able to bookmark them, and then it actually helps you just pick the course from where you have left. I think there are currently some limitation we do have with the new homepage. You definitely don't have the manager view and the instructor view, which are the my team and the my classes view. They are supported, and hence SAP has still kept the option to switch back and forth between legacy and the new experience, so that you should be able to take a look at that. Also, I think there are a few things, your learning history, if you want to look at that, you'll have to go to the legacy view. Um, Currently, I think the custom tiles also are not supported, but these are going to be gradually added. SAP do have a clearly defined roadmap around the new LMS homepage, that what is going to be available in what releases. I think from the next releases onwards, they are going to have the functionality added for managers and the instructors, and I believe the custom tiles as well. And there is going to be option for having the banner image customized as well. So I think these are the few things that I know is going to be soon available with the next release. So definitely, I think this new experience for the learners is going to create more engagement and more, I would say, enhanced around that how can I pick up the courses quickly instead of going through the pool of courses. And the other areas that we have talked about, they are really around that when you really want to create your learners experience more and more vital, more and more diverse, then I think what you really need to consider is the all the visual aspects wherever you can have in your LMS application to utilize all of that. And those visual aspects or your branding, all the images, how you actually display the content when it comes to the courses. So you should have the nice cover pages created, which can give you more information. So all that you can take consideration. Other than that, I think you still have an option on, let me, right. So I was saying that you still have an option to switch back and forth between your new experience and the legacy experience. If you want to take a look at that, what are these different sections that you currently see on your new LMS homepage? And these are very brief information available over here. With the webinar today, we also have some resources ready for you, which are the standard documentation, which are going to be deep linked in the decks, which you'll have later. So you can take a look at it. But yeah, for now, you still have a capability, depending on whether it has been how it is set up. You can go between the legacy experience and the new experience back and forth, considering not everything is currently supported on the new home page. So you can still have that switch, the toggle on and off, and then you can utilize it. So if I want to look at my learning history, I'll have to come back to the legacy view, and then only I can look at my learning history. It is currently not available on the new LMS homepage. So I think that was around the very high level overview on the homepage I want to give. With that, let's go back to our PowerPoint. So I was talking about some of the resources that we have linked here. So the model that we talked about from the SAP best practices point of view, all the area inspire and guide social collaboration. If you want to know more about that, then you have all that available at this link, which is around managing SAP SuccessFactor learning for administration. And then you will find an option around how you can actually increase the learner engagement somewhere there. And then if you want to understand the new learning homepage, you want to take a look at the more details around the new homepage, this is the link that you can refer. So it will take you to the standard documentation available from, again, SAP. And then it does talk about that, what are the personalized recommendation, what are the different sections, what are the prerequisites for you to have access to the new LMS homepage, and the other details around the new homepage. With that, I think this covers, I specifically wanted to talk about the learner engagement as a concept, and then how SuccessFactor LMS can help you. This is at a very high level from the overview point of view. However, if you want to know more about the product, or want to have a deep dive demo, you can definitely anytime reach out to us. But before we take a look at if there are any questions, I think I'd like to just leave you all here before we take up the question with one food for thought, that we talked about the SuccessFactor LMS, which definitely can help create more engaged experience. But if you really want to transform your learning experience for an employee, right, and then you want to provide them a platform which is the most interactive, then I think it's worth, if you would like to take a look at it, the product that we offer, which is the Blend LXP. It works with the SuccessFactor LMS and the work zone as well. So yep, we have some resources linked here. So feel free to explore in your spare time. And if you have any question, you can definitely reach out to us. So I think that's it from my side, Manisha. Do we have any questions from the participant, which I can take up?
Yes. Do you want to take it up directly from Q&A, Sadaf?
Yeah, I think I can see. Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think the new learning home does not include the learning history. Will this be added? Also for instructor, the button My Class is not there in the old version. You can click just on the magnifier to see the whole library. That's also not possible in the new learning homepage. Okay, so yes, currently the new homepage, it does not have a learning history section, and that's why you still have an option to switch back and forth between the legacy and the new experience if you have that toggle button on. And as per recipe announcement, definitely this is going to get added, because they are going to completely uh, make the new experience universal from 2025. So I believe in this year, the year 2024, all the functionality that are currently missing, which are supported in legacy, they are going to be available. And yes, My Classes and the My Manager both it's both are currently not supported, so you still have to keep your legacy view on, so that if you are using your instructors are using that My Classes view, that they should be able to use that. And I understand it's a concern that the whole library where you just have a magnifier, but yeah, here with the enhanced search, because the enhanced search is nothing but where they have made one stop for all the kind of searches, where you would go from there and then it takes you up to the library and then you can make the searches. I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much for those questions. So, another question. Does the new learner homepage incorporate LXP functionalities? Are the blend LXP functionality now included in SAP SuccessFactors LMS with the new learner homepage? No. So just to clarify, the Blend LXP, this is a separate product. This is the product that the talent team that we offer, which can integrate with your SuccessFactors LMS and WorkZone, and as well as with the SharePoint as well. And then it can then overall enhance the learning experience. So the LXP functionality neither available into LMS nor the LMS into LXP. However, when you combine both of them, you can transform your learning system into learning experience platform. But if you want to know more about it, I think I would suggest the resources that we are sharing. Do take a look at them, and then if you have further question, you can definitely reach out to us through our official mail IDs. Yeah. I think we have this similar question. Where do I find my learning history, the new learner homepage? No, you don't have the learning history option currently available on your new LMS homepage. You have to switch back to the legacy experience and then you, as usual, access under your learning history tile, all the learning histories. Um, all right. Can the learner switch between the legacy view and the new home page? Yes, definitely. So what happens is on the admin side, you do have an option to keep that switch on. So and you have to, because what happens is if you have made a choice that you don't want to enable the new experience, so that and on 2025 your learners will see that it will not be completely new, they will start becoming little habitual to that, see that. So then you have that switch option available. And when I showed you a demo, I was showing it from the learner point of view. They will have an option to switch back and forth. And yeah, when you set it up, it's going to be available for everyone. And this is the configuration that an admin does from the learning administration. I think the setting is available somewhere. If you go to system administration under your integrated learning settings around that. Okay, then I think we have one more question. Is it in the plan to have all functionality available in legacy system accessible via new homepage before it becomes mandatory? Um, I hope and I believe so, because I don't think SAP has any plans to not support any of the legacy functionalities, however, to enhance them further. And as per the announcement they had, um, they have uh, it's not going to be available, I think, in the immediate release in the first half of 2024. They have a proper roadmap. I think you can look at the roadmap from the SAP Roadmap Explorer. You definitely need to have a user ID to access that. And then it can give you an overview that what functionality which are currently available in legacy are going to get added into the new LMS homepage over the next releases. I hope I have covered all the questions. But if there are, sorry, if there are anything I may have missed, feel free to let us know. Okay. Inisha, I think we have covered all the questions. I don't see any more questions coming in.
Yes,
Um,
yes. If you have any more questions, I see a hand up by Santosh R. Do you have any questions? Please feel free to type it in the Q&A box, please. Even if it's in the chat box, it should be fine. Oh, in
I
the
think we have
meantime,
something
Sadaf,
in
can I,
chat. Okay.
in the
Yep.
meantime, can I ask a question? Like, until when customers can continue using legacy learning homepage?
So, as per the current announcement, when the homepage was released with the last second half of 2023, SAP is saying that the legacy page will be supported until end of 2024, which is this current running year. And from 2025, the new homepage is going to become universal. So yeah, that's if anything will change, I think we'll definitely will get to know from the SAP. But for now, this is what they have announced.
Fantastic. We have another question. Are there any prerequisites to adopt personalized recommendations on the new learning homepage?
Yes, I definitely. There are some technical prerequisites, I would say technical setup that customer needs to do, and from the data point of view as well. So definitely to be able to enable the functionality in itself, your SuccessFactor LMS and the platform, both the tenant should be sealed. You should definitely have enabled the new LMS home page because the per AI personalized recommendation, I'm sorry, are not supported with the legacy one in general. So you should enable the new experience, have your platform and LMS tenant sealed, and the personalized recommendation, it's one of the setting that you need to enable from your platform, from the company system and logo setting. And once that are enabled, then you should be able to check the status on the LMS administration side. This is all the technical setup to enable the functionality. However, in order to adopt to the functionality so that the learners will start seeing the recommendation, there are some data requirement. So the recommendation engine is actually uses all the learning history data, the learning plan data, even the optional courses, and some data from the employee profile and the growth portfolio. So yeah, I think there is some, I don't know exactly on top of my head what's the exact count, but the bare minimum, some courses should exist in your LMS system, some learning history completion should exist. I think around close to um 2000 or something. I don't know exact count. I think it should be available somewhere on the community. But yeah, these are the data requirements. So once this data is all there, you have your uh, the functionality enabled, and I think the engine runs in the back end. Takes some time, I think a week or so, to start generating the recommendation. So yeah, this is how it's going to work for the customers who are would like to adopt to the personalized recommendation.
Thank you so much, Sadaf. Santosh seems to have his hand up still. Not sure if he has any question or would like to talk, but I think, yeah, there you go, he's gone. Okay, thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at info@talentteam.com. I've also put the email ID on the chat box. And yeah, so this webinar has been recorded and you will be getting this along with some other useful assets, probably latest by tomorrow, or if not by Monday. I think that's it. Thank you so much, Sadaf. This has been wonderful. Um,
Thank you. I'm really thankful for all the attendees for and coming and attending this webinar with us. This always really make us feel really proud. Thank you so much for everyone's your attendance.
yes, thank you so much. Thanks everyone for attending. Thanks a lot.